What's up, YouTube? Here we are in the messy ass garage. So just got back from FLMM. The wind was a major issue for a long distance trip, and it actually is a bit of an issue on this bike on the freeways, on the highway. So I turned to my friends over at Memphis Shades, and we purchased the Memphis Shades Bullet fairing. So we're going to be installing that right now. One important thing to note about the Memphis Shades fairings, they're all universal. However, the brackets are not. The brackets are bike specific. So if you get a Memphis Shades fairing, you need to make sure you get the proper brackets for it. The fairing pretty much came like this in the box. Let's pop these bad boys out and get to installing this thing. So let's see, we've got instructions, which we probably won't use. We've got some thingies, some more thingies, a couple of tools, and the brackets themselves. And we'll see how these go on the bike in just a sec. Now, interesting to note, they feel plasticky, but they sound like metal. Actually, I'm pretty sure these are like plastic or some kind of acrylic. Alright, so here are the instructions if you want to... So we got upper bushings, lower bushings. They look exactly the same. Alright, so the first step is to connect the brackets to the actual fairing. I've taken off the bolts, and they come with these little rubber things. As you can see, you can move this and seat it into these holes. Or maybe it'd be easier to just seat the rubber in there. Or seat the rubber in there. Is that how you say that? Okay, so now that that's done, we gotta install the bushings on the bike. So one important thing to note on these bushings, these can be very easily confused. So if you notice, one of them has kind of like a beveled washer there. That bushing, that's the upper bushing. The one without the bevel is the lower bushing. So you're gonna install this upper and lower bushings right where these two screws are, right here. These screws come out, these bushings go in. Let's do that. Top, bottom. Now, repeat the process on the other side. Bushings installed. Alright, so now that that's done, we should be able to just slip the fairing onto that and there. Let's get a good side view here. So this is going to slide in, and then these clips are going to lock on the top one. Need to make sure they're both open. Slide down. One in. Any day now. There we go. It's in. And let's look at it from the side. This U just goes right on there. And this locks. Same for over here. This one is a little misaligned, so we just gotta push it back into place and lock it. All right, and that is how you install a Memphis Shades Bullet fairing. First impression, I think it looks pretty badass. I love it. Let's look at it with the light on. I really love it. Look at it from the front. I'm loving this thing. So in the morning, we are gonna take this thing out on the road and do a little review on it.
3 days later.
All right, so I'm finally getting around to doing this damn video. It's actually been like 3 days since I installed the fairing. I installed it on Monday, today's a Thursday. And so I've actually gone out with it and ridden with it now for a few days. I actually did the video, but for some reason my audio didn't capture properly. And so here we are again. So thoughts on the fairing. The look is incredible. I absolutely love the look of it. There's been a little bit of rattling. I think it's somewhere in this bracket, but I'm pretty sure it's just a matter of me retightening the bolts and using Loctite on them. I'm really not worried about it. Now, as far as the wind protection, I'm gonna wait till we're out on the highway to share those thoughts. As far as city riding, yeah, you do get a lot less wind resistance. I do gotta say, the fairing is freaking great. I love it. Good job, Memphis Shades. Having said that, and I'll go over this in a second, it is not, if what you're looking for is complete wind blockage, this is not the fairing for you. But I'll go over that in a minute here. I'm gonna stop off, gas up, and then we'll jump on the highway for a bit, just so I can illustrate this a lot better, or while I'm actually going through it.
11 minutes later.
Alright, let's get this bad boy on the highway. Oh, I wanted to mention, so the fairing, you see this line here. I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but you can see it here on this photo. So it looks like it's two pieces, but it's actually one solid piece. And I guess they just polish it differently to where the top is clear and the bottom is black. I think it's really cool. But it looks like two pieces, but it's just the one, which obviously makes it a much stronger piece. So like I said, I don't know if you can hear the rattling on the camera, but there's something loose in it. I'm just gonna go back through, retighten all the bolts and make sure I got Loctite on them, but I'm not worried about it. I'm sure it's just a loose bolt somewhere. Alright, so the wind coverage on this fairing. So most fairings pretty much will cover all of you, but this fairing, you can still feel the wind on your face, but it comes in at a different angle. It comes in at an upward angle, which, especially when you're wearing a helmet, it makes it deflect a whole lot easier. You don't feel it nearly as much. Now, most cruiser riders, I think probably all cruiser riders, will tell you the problem with riding on the highway, if you don't have a windshield or a fairing or some kind of windscreen, it's all the brunt of the wind that you're taking right up on your chest. That's what makes it hard, because you're holding onto the bars for dear life, especially at higher speeds. With this, I am getting absolutely no wind from the neck down. It is incredible. It is fantastic, and I'm loving it. I feel like I can actually relax when I'm on the highway now. And actually, if you go into tuck, you get absolutely zero wind. It's almost like riding a sports bike, like all tucked down and shit, obviously. So all in all, I think it's a fantastic fairing. If this is the look you're going for, I highly recommend it. There's some other fairings by Memphis Shades, more club style, much bigger fairings, obviously full windshields. And the thing I really like about it is that it's removable. So if I'm just, granted the looks of this thing are awesome, but I can take it off if I'm just cruising around town or whatever. If I want to, I can take it right off, and all that's left is the bushings. So yeah, that was just a quick little highway run just so I could better demonstrate. But yeah, like I still get some wind here, and obviously wind down the sides. There's no coverage on the sides, but the biggest point is that there's no wind in your chest. There's no wind pushing you back, which, thank you ESPN, which is freaking awesome and incredible. And I absolutely, oh, I just kill switched myself. That was embarrassing. Anyway, yeah, not having wind on your chest is absolutely incredibly awesome. Anybody that rides with a windshield could probably say the same thing. What in the world? Oh, I put my hazards on. I can probably tell you the same thing. And anybody who rides a cruiser with no windshield can probably tell you it's not the wind in the face that gets you, it's the wind on the chest, which pushes you back and makes you hold on to the bars for dear life. With this fairing, none of that. Love it. The installation was easy as pie. The looks are awesome. And you know, this thing, I've heard you can paint them all kinds of different ways. Actually, yeah, you can, because I've seen those clubbed out Dynas. Most of them have Memphis Shades fairings that are painted. So, you know, if your bike is like cobalt blue or silver or whatever, you can probably paint it to match your bike. And I'm guessing that's why that line is there, just so you can leave the windshield as is, or the clear part as is, and paint the colored side. Mine is just black, so I'm leaving it gloss black, and it's just fantastic. I'm in love with this fairing. I highly, highly recommend it. And you know, that's it. I'm gonna link up everything on the bio. Shout out to Memphis Shades for a great product. Very much kudos. I give it, because of that rattling, I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. Not that it matters. I mean, I don't have a rating or anything, but whatever. All right, that's it. Ride safe.